This is an interview with Alma Huff, my grandma, for the U.S. Modern Period Oral History Project. She will discuss with me the U.S. Homefront as well as her son's duties in the Navy during World War II. The interview is being conducted at my home on March 28, 1991. My name is Michelle Snyder. Okay, you want to tell them your name?
My name is Alma Huff.
Okay, you want to speak up a little?
My name is Alma Huff,
And your age?
and I'm 86 years old.
Okay. Where were you born?
I was born in Bakersville, Ohio,
Do you remember what year?
1904,
Okay. What year was Russell born?
1924,
Okay. Where was he born? Where was Bill born?
Newcomerstown,
How many kids did you have?
9.
How many did Russell have?
Russell had 2 boys.
And Bill?
Bill adopted 3
Okay. Were they married before the war or after the war?
after the war.
Right. Do you remember anything about their work experiences before the war? Russell's?
Well, Russell worked in a bakery, and then he got a job at Heller Brothers factory
What was that?
in Newcomerstown. It was a file factory.
Was it? Okay. And Bill? Okay. Do you remember where his first was?
His first job was in a bakery
Was it? Where was that at?
in Newcomerstown.
Okay. Did he have any other jobs before the war?
No, he was in school all the time.
Okay. Do you remember much about the Depression?
I remember some.
Okay. Do you remember the rationing?
Yes, we were rationed.
Okay. What kind of
Yes.
stuff did they ration?
Sugar, flour, coffee,
Stuff besides food?
eggs, tires, gasoline.
Did you have a car then?
Yes, Dad
Did
had
you?
an old Model T Ford.
So you had to watch where you drove it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dad walked most of the time.
Okay.
We were rationed on eggs,
Uh-huh.
and a family gave me some because I had three little children.
Mm-hmm.
So I fried them for supper, and it just happened that night that the fellow that was supposed to
The inspector?
inspect the families
Mm-hmm.
came while we were eating supper, and he really bawled me out for having eggs when I wasn't supposed to have eggs.
Yeah, I'll bet. Did they have handout people that rationed your food and stuff?
Well, you went downtown and you got just what you was allowed. You had tokens.
Mm-hmm.
You had little tokens you turned in for what you, like your sugar. You got so much sugar,
Mm-hmm.
so much flour, so much butter. Butter was rationed.
Where'd the tokens come from? Was that from the same place?
Well, they were issued from where you got your,
Where they handed it out?
yeah.
I see.
They were red, blue, and white tokens.
Patriotic, huh? Okay. Where did you live during the Depression?
We lived in Newcomerstown.
Okay. On a farm?
No, we lived at the upper end of town,
Okay.
at the edge of town.
All right. What kind of work did Grandpa do?
He done everything he could get $1 out of.
Did he?
Anything he could get to do to make money to keep the family.
Mm-hmm. Is that when Russell and Bill worked?
He worked on the farm. He worked any place he could get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the boys were in school, and they got their jobs on the side.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Where did you live when the war broke out?
In Newcomerstown.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did that was a small town. Did that affect how much information you got about the war?
Oh, no, not really.
Not really?
No, it was a lot bigger than Newcomerstown was bigger than Dalton.
Mm-hmm. So you had a lot of information from the newspapers and...
Yeah.
Okay. Was it pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. How did the boys feel about it when the war broke out?
Well, they were young, and they were anxious to go.
Were they?
Yeah, they wanted to fight for their country.
How did you feel about that?
Well, I felt very sad. I was proud of them, wanting to fight for their country, but I hated to see them go off to war.
And Russell was your oldest?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when he went in?
He went in the spring of '42.
And Bill went in?
2 years later,
Okay.
he went in.
All right.
He got so lonesome for Russell, he couldn't stand it, so he joined them.
And what was your reaction to the news about Pearl Harbor?
I was very worried because I had a
Nephew?
nephew that was in that. John Lavner was in that. Yes, it was a worry.
What was their reaction to it, Bill and Russell?
Oh, they were young, like all young boys.
They were raring and ready to go, huh?
They were anxious to go with the other boys. They didn't want people to think that they wouldn't go fight for their country. So,
What was your opinion about the United States getting involved in this? Did you think that we should have?
no, I don't.
What was your reasons for that?
Well, I thought they should have stayed over here where they belonged.
Did the boys feel that way too?
Well, they never said too much about it.
Okay. They were both in the Navy, right?
Yes.
Why did they choose the Navy?
I don't really know. They just thought they liked the Navy better than any other branch.
But Bill, you think Bill chose it because Russell did?
Well, he might have. I don't know. I think he liked the Navy, too.
Do you remember about how long they served? Pretty
2
much
years.
Each of them 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did they have any special kind of training that you remember?
Before they went?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Russell was a cook.
Russell was a cook, and William was on a LST boat.
All right. Were they at stateside any time? Any stateside assignment? They were mostly out, huh? Okay. All right. Now, what was their opinion of our government and the Allies during the war? They really supported it?
Well, probably.
Okay. All right. What did they write home about their battles, combat experiences? Russell was the cook.
Russell was a cook, but he did tell me that he saw a fellow have his head cut off by the propeller of an airplane, and it was so bad that he couldn't stand to talk about it. But he was a cook.
So he wasn't really in any real...
No battle.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But Bill was?
And William was, I don't know what they call it, but he was on a LST boat. And they was pulling up, letting the back down to walk out on the beach. And he got a shrapnel in his spine, in his back. And he ended up in Bethesda Hospital in Maryland for quite a few months.
Did you go visit him?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Dad and I went to see him, and they didn't think he would walk. He'd be paralyzed, but he came out able to walk.
So, did Russell serve his full time then?
He served 2 years, yes.
Okay.
And William served 2 years.
What were their living conditions like on the boats? Were they pretty nice? Did they write to you about that?
He never said too much about how they were living on.
Okay. Well, they were pretty clean and stuff.
Yeah.
And the food was pretty good, I guess, because Russell was cooking it, huh? Okay. What did you write to them about? what it was like back here in the
Well,
States?
I wrote, told them all the news, that things that happened, and about our neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
anything that happened that I could think would interest them
Mm-hmm.
from home.
Were things pretty bad back here, economically and?
Well, I would say yes. It's kind of bad.
Mm-hmm. You had a large family too, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
a large family to feed, as you was only allowed so much.
Mm-hmm. What was your opinion about the enemy soldiers?
Well, I figured they had to fight the same as our boys did. If you didn't kill them, they'd kill you.
But you didn't really blame them.
No, not really. They had to fight the same as our boys did.
How did Russell and Bill feel about the enemy?
Well, I don't think they ever hated them or anything.
It was just something they had to do,
They
and
knew they had to do it, and
it wasn't a personal.
they could have got out of going at that time. You could have been a conscientious objector,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't believe in that.
And you supported them in
Yeah,
going. Okay.
yeah.
How'd the rest of your family feel about them going?
Well, I think they felt about the same way we did.
That you just supported them and.
Yeah,
Okay.
that they should fight for their country.
When did they come back home?
Well, they were in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell would have been back, what, 42, 44?
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years after William went in, he would have been home, but I can't figure that out.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. When they came back, what kind of jobs did they take up after the war?
Well, they were promised jobs
Were they?
before they went. But
Mhm.
when they came back, the companies wasn't honest with them. They didn't give them their jobs back.
Do you remember what companies they were?
Yes, William worked for Eaglestrong,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember who else, except that he worked for Heller Brothers.
Yeah. What kind of company was Eagle Strong?
It was down here in town. Do you remember? It was down here.
Mhm.
I don't know what they made.
But they didn't get their jobs, huh?
No, they didn't. They went to their job and they didn't take them back.
Do you remember where they ended up getting jobs at? Not too long.
Yeah, I can't remember how they got them.
Okay. How did the war affect the family overall when it was over?
Well, we were all relieved when the war was over and happy that the boys came home.
Could you see changes in the boys?
Yes, I could.
Okay. Anything specific?
Well, just like, I guess a mother would see in a child
Mm-hmm.
a change in him. I can remember William, they put William on a big gun one time
Mm-hmm.
to fire a big gun,
Mm-hmm.
and he come home was telling about firing that big gun, and his eyes was as big as dollars. Scared me. Looked at him.
Yeah. But Russell wasn't as affected because he had a more
Well, his was entirely different.
job.
Yeah,
Okay.
than William's.
Do you think that the war affected their view on current events?
Probably.
Okay. Did it affect yours?
I would say so.
In what ways?
I can't tell you.
It just did.
It just, yeah,
Influence the way that you view things?
yeah.
Okay. And you want to tell me about the war bond?
Well, Russell took a war bond once a month,
Mm-hmm.
and then he wrote and said he was sending them home,
Mm-hmm.
and if I needed any to use them, but I never did. I never spent a one on I put them in the bank for him. And they had to take out insurance. And Russell wrote, and William, said they took out insurance and they put it in my name. And I wrote back and said, I don't want the insurance. I want you boys to come home.
Yeah. Do you have any other memories you want to share? So Bill got a Purple Heart?
William received a Purple Heart. Yes, and when they would come home on leave, they'd always bring gifts for each one in the family. And two that I remember very well were cushion tops, beautiful cushion tops. And then I can't remember the other little things they brought.
All things made over.
Yeah, things that they got over there and brought back.
What kind of entertainment did you have during the war?
Well, I didn't have much entertainment except raising a family because
There's so many of them.
there's a big family and we couldn't afford to take them all out to eat, and I wouldn't go out with my husband unless I could take the children. So we didn't have much entertainment except the family. And I think I went to one picture show. Dad took me to one picture show. And it was that wee little, what's that wee little man that wobbled around? Charlie Chaplin. It was Charlie Chaplin. It was a show I'll never forget it.
That's the only one you've ever been to.
At that, back then when we was raising the kids, yeah. We couldn't afford.
Yeah. Okay. Did you guys go out to eat or anything?
Oh my, we couldn't afford to.
Not without the kids, huh?
No.
So, okay.
I wouldn't go without them.
Okay.